Hey everyone, trying out a new video format. As you can see, I have a controller camera in the top left, and I'll be doing a track guide at the West Coast circuit of update 0.21. So they define the track boundaries much better for turn 1. You aren't like wondering if you should dive into the pit lane anymore. They also removed the off-camber aprons inside these curbs, so you can use them much more aggressively now. Especially for this one, you don't unsettle the car coming out here, which lets you keep much more speed into this turn. This is also a much lower speed turn now. And depending on the car, you want to emphasize the exit more. Like this has enough downforce to go flat out through here, so you want to keep as much speed as possible. Braking right about where those red barriers start. It's good. Had a good timing. I think this chicane might be a little bit faster than it used to be, especially if you take the curbs more aggressively. They also lowered the sausage curbs, which helps with keeping higher speeds through those areas. Not as dangerous. There's also a raised curb here now, which can throw you a little wide if you're trying to take the same line you're used to. So you gotta keep the car a lot more settled as you do that now. This turn is also much smoother. Basically everything flows better and is very suitable for high speed racing. We've got an overview. I'll try and give a nicer lap, using a lot more track reference information. Side note, the rolling start is too close to the first turn, and it costs you time. You actually have to reverse to get a good launch. So I brake right around the 300 braking marker. Being sure to use as much of the track as possible. Brake a little bit before the blue apron starts. Brake between these two markers. If you avoid the inside curb, sometimes it's better because it keeps the car more settled. In between these two braking markers, turn in just a bit before the crane. We turn in before that curb just a little bit, because we can use the inside curb much more aggressively now. And then I brake about in between these K-rails here. Be sure not to take the sausage curbs too aggressively. They're not as tall, but they can still slow down the car. Here I brake a little after the dip, because this car's so good at braking. With an optimal apex, I would use that curb too, because you can still get away with that. Here, be careful about this raised curb. Went a little wide because I got unsettled by that curb. Here you want to take it out to the curb there, and then use all the road you can. That's about a 90% well-executed lap. And now we move on to the finer details to optimize the lap further. Things like the curbs, the elevation changes. Anywhere the car can get skittish, we want to prevent that, because bouncing across the track surface will reduce performance in every regard. Turning, braking, and accelerating. We also want to use as much of the track as we can. And we don't want to cheat our turn-ins where we go diagonal before the point we want to turn in. It can also pay off to use the gas pedal to balance the weight transfers over curbs and keep the car stable. As such, I actually caught the lip of the curb and it helped me turn in just a little bit. We also want to pay attention to things like this is lowered here, so if we drop off before the braking zone, we'll keep the car in a much nicer condition. Again, beginning acceleration as we reach the curb, so we lift the front right, and we get over the curb without bouncing as much. And then here, we want to get as far to the right before this turn as we can without unsettling the car too much. And then we can push to the outside there. And then here we want to get over here and use as much of the track again as we can. Trying not to go past the white lines, which is technically cutting the track in most racing disciplines. With that, we got 4/10, 5/10. That's how you further optimize your laps.